In this After Effects tutorial, I'll show you how to create realistic ink transitions using only standard effects. Hi, my name is Manuel. I'm a freelance motion designer, bringing you fresh animation and motion graphics tutorials every week. To follow along, you might want to download the project file. Of course, you could use footage of ink drops. The thing about footage is you can't really control a lot. So let's get started and create everything in After Effects. First of all, we add a new solid. Choose a dark gray color and name it ink. With the solid selected, we grab the pen tool and draw a mask. Some kind of round shape, which we place in the center of the screen and then turn into some kind of drop. If needed, add more points. It finally looks a bit like a cartoon drop. Let's animate the shape. We set a keyframe for the mask path at the beginning, then we move to 30 frames and expand the mask by pressing Command T for transform and then holding Command Shift while scaling it up, until it covers most of the screen. Let's go back to the beginning and shrink the shape down. With the right point selected, let's open the graph editor and edit the speed curve. We'll drag the right point down to the bottom line and at the same time drag the handle to the left. The mask expands very fast at the beginning, just after the ink hits the ground. Then it slows down. Hard to imagine this will look good. Let's work on the look. We need to roughen the edges a little, but we don't use that effect. Let's create a new comp, 1920 by 1080, 60 frames long, and name it Noise Edges. Then add a new solid and the turbulent noise effect. We change some settings: fractal type, swirly, noise type, soft linear, invert, contrast 180, scale 75, complexity 10. And let's animate the evolution. Set a keyframe by clicking on that little stopwatch at the beginning, and then at the end set the evolution to 180 degrees. Next, we add the comp to our main comp, hide it, and add displacement map to the ink solid. Choose the Noise Edges comp as our displacement map layer and set max horizontal and vertical displacement to 25. Not really much better yet, so let's add a 15 frames feather to the mask. The edges are usually a bit brighter. To achieve that, we right-click on the ink solid, go to Layer Styles, Inner Shadow, change the blend mode to normal, the color into white, the opacity to 65%, distance 5 and the size to 90. Alright, getting closer. Let's add an overall texture to the shape. Therefore, we duplicate the noise comp in the project window and name it Noise Texture. Then let's change some settings of the turbulent noise effect. Noise type spline, contrast 10, scale 500. Let's add this to our main comp and turn it into the Luma matte for the ink solid. Let's see. Awesome, you can see some organic movement going on. The texture breaks up the solid color and gives it a more liquid feel. Let's add some more drops. We go to around 5 frames in the timeline, select the ink solid, grab the pen tool and add some more round masks. With all new masks selected, we add keyframes for the mask path and a 15 pixels feather. Then we move 1 frame to the left and move the 4 shapes out of the screen. And change those keyframes into toggle hold keyframes. Whenever you change the frame rate of the comp to 60 for example, then make sure you don't see the masks moving between frame 4 and 5. Then we go to 30 frames and expand the 4 masks. Finally, the whole screen is covered. With the 4 right keyframes selected, we open the graph editor and quickly adjust the speed curve. Then we move the keyframes left and right along the timeline to change the timing. We don't want the shapes to move all at the same time and with the same speed. The borders of our screen still look awful though. Easy fix. We scale the ink solid and the noise texture up to 110%. Let's quickly add another level of detail. We duplicate the ink solid, change the track matte back to none, and delete all but one of the small masks. Change the inner shadow color in the layer style settings into gray. The opacity to 100. Then we go to 5 frames, move the mask somewhere to the middle of the screen. Then go to 30 frames, delete the keyframe, and at 40 frames expand the mask shape. Of course, we add some more shapes. By simply duplicating the solid and adjusting the form and position of the shape. I think copying and changing what you already have is much easier than creating new stuff. Hey, if you're still sticking around, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to my channel. It would mean a lot. Finally, the shapes are done. Let's see. Not bad, lots of details. One last thing. If you want to reveal footage, simply duplicate the ink solid and set the track matte to none and change the solid color to white. Then move the solid around 14 frames to the right, add some footage below the solid and change the track matte next to our footage into alpha matte. Now it's your turn to come up with new variations of ink transitions. You could try different ink colors, directions of expansion, different speeds, and make truly unique ink transitions. Maybe we adjust the speed of the reveal here quickly by moving these right keyframes even more to the right. Awesome, looks good for me now. On the left side I've added some videos you might like, so see you there in a moment. Subscribe to my channel on the right side and ring the bell if you want to know exactly when the next video is coming out. Thanks so much for watching, hope that tutorial was useful for y'all. See you in the next video, bye!